All right, guys, so in this video, we're going to talk about what you can do to boost your energy so that you're like a kid on a playground just running endlessly. And what you can do simultaneously, this one thing that you can do is also going to make it so that you think clearly, so that you can remember things on the spot, crack jokes with your friends and your family, really just get your brain firing on all cylinders, processing information effortlessly. And when you do this one thing, not only is it going to boost your energy and your mental alertness, but you're going to notice that it's just simply easier for you to be in a fun-loving attitude where you can just joke it with your friends and your coworkers and really just enjoy life. It's going to eliminate those days where you wake up and you're kind of exhausted and you just find it hard to be in a good mood. It's almost like you don't feel like yourself. Now, it's only one thing that's going to give you all three of these powers. It's almost a superpower, because imagine what your life would look like if you had endless energy, boundless energy, improved cognitive function, and an elevated mood. What would that do to your social life? I mean, it's no fun to be around people that aren't in a good mood. So obviously people love to be around people that are in a good mood. I mean, everyone loves to be around someone that's fun and energetic and happy. Now, you might be wondering, what is this one thing, Adam? Well, it's eating like a conqueror. Now, what this really entails is there's 5 or 6 key secrets. There's 6 key secrets for eating like a conqueror. But this one is the most bang for buck. If you do this for 21 days, you will simply feel, look, and think better than you ever have in your entire life. And more specifically, what it is doing a low carb diet. Now, most people would refer to this as paleo, but we do a modified version where it's not as strict, or we have some carbs. I'll get into that in a second. But before I do, I want to tell you the impact that this had on my life. You see, I never really gave any thought to how food really affected me and my mood and my energy and my hormones and just my life. And I remember I used to eat Jack in the Box twice a day because I wanted to get bigger. I was just dirty bulking. And then one day, my roommate, his dad went on Joe Rogan's podcast. And I was like, what the heck? Like, if you're on Joe Rogan's podcast, you're an expert in your field. So I was like, okay, like, what's this guy talking about? Like, let's go listen to it. And he was talking about how if we start living how we did when we were cavemen, we start aligning our lifestyle to our ancestors, we're going to feel better. We're going to wake up energized, alert, mentally ready to take on the day. And he just kept talking about all the benefits, and I got really intrigued. I was like, this sounds really cool. I mean, who doesn't want to be the best version of themselves, feel amazing every single day, think clearly, And so I decided to give the paleo diet a trial for about 21 days. Now, by the end of this 21 days, I was a completely different person. Like, I simply was operating on an entirely new level. And to really demonstrate this, I remember after paleo for about 21 to 30 days, somewhere in that range, I was at the gym and I was working out, and I eventually got to a point where I could barely curl like 30s or 40s on the bar for the barbell. And I was like, that's super lightweight for me, or at least was back in the day or whatever. And, no, I mean, it still is. What am I saying? But okay. Anyways, I was like, what the heck's going on here? Like, how can I not put up this weight? Like, this is lightweight. And then I realized that I had been working out for 90 minutes. And normally before paleo, I would only go about 45 minutes, then I'd get tired and leave. But on paleo, I seriously went for twice as long and got my muscles so fatigued my muscles got fatigued and I worked them harder before I physically gave out like I used to. Like before, my energy levels were apparently holding me back from really fatiguing my muscles and getting a top-notch workout in. And then not only that, I had so much energy that I literally went for a 2-mile run after. Like, it was insane how much more energy I had. And not only that, like it was much more clean, consistent, and potent. I didn't crash randomly in the middle of the day. You know those times where you like 2 p.m. comes and you just feel like you ran into a wall and you get left feeling like a zombie? Yeah, I didn't have that anymore. And that's actually because your blood sugar levels are going to be much more low and consistent. So you see what happens when you eat carbs. You're essentially going to be, your blood glucose levels are going to skyrocket. And then 2 hours later, you're going to crash when all that leaves. So you eliminate that because you're on a low carb diet essentially. And the other thing is like you build the metabolic state to use fat for energy. And again, this is how we evolved. When you start using fats and ketones for your source of fuel, that's literally how we've eaten for thousands of years, millions of years. And when you start to get like this, you just feel better. And I know you might be thinking like, okay, is our body really going to operate better when we use fats for energy versus glucose and glycogen? And the answer is yes. We've evolved for this. And think about it. We adapt in order to survive. And that's why if you were to get sandpaper and rub it on your hand, you would start bleeding. But in a few days, your skin would come back tougher and stronger in the form of a callus, so that next time it could handle the stress you're applying to it. That's also why you're able to pack on muscle. You're applying stress to your muscle fibers, breaking them down, and then they recover and adapt so that next time they can handle the stress you're applying to it. So our body evolved a certain way. We keep adapting. Now, with that being said, if glycogen and carbs were meant to be our main source of fuel, why can our body only hold 1,600 calories of glycogen or carbs, and it can hold about 72,000 calories of fats? Wouldn't that make it less likely for us to survive because we have lower and limited energy? And not only that, why are there essential fatty acids and essential amino acids, but no essential glycogen? Remember, essential means we need to get it through our diet in order to survive. So these reasons that lead me to believe fats are meant to be our source of fuel for energy. And when you build a metabolic state to use fats for energy, you're going to feel so much better than you ever have. You're going to think more clearly. You're just going to all around operate better than you ever have. And that's when you're going to be like, holy, dang, I can't believe I used to eat that way. Because that's what happened to me. I just literally felt superhuman. I became limitless. And that's when I started realizing, I was like, food really does have a huge role in how we feel. And it's like once you start to actually think about it, you're like, that makes total sense. Like, this is literally how we're fueling our body. Like, your body's a Lamborghini, but most people put in 87 fuel. They eat terrible foods that limit them. And again, it's more about what you don't eat than what you do eat. Now, look, guys, I have a few videos about what the paleo diet is and how to follow it. If you do this for 21 days, I'm telling you, you will be a better version of yourself. You're simply going to feel, look, and think better than you ever have. And I hope you try it out. And so I'll probably at the end of this video, I'll have the end card come up for those videos, so you can go ahead and check them out. But look, most people can't, it's not really that they don't know what information to follow for the nutrition protocol, but the problem that they run into is that they can't stick to their word. They tell themselves they're going to start eating healthy, but they can't do it. And that's because they haven't programmed their brain for success yet. And that's why most people, and this may include you, constantly declare that they're going to improve themselves. And, they make these New Year's resolutions that they're going to do X, Y, and Z. But a few days in or a few weeks in, they're back into their old patterns and ruts. It's because of how their brain is programmed. So what we do first in the New Era of Health, before we work out and eat like a conqueror to optimize our body and brain, we acquire the mind of a conqueror. We form the right habits in your life and program your brain to stick to your word effortlessly. And then after you acquire the mind of a conqueror, we have you work out and eat like a conqueror. We have you optimize your body and brain, your mood, and your life. Now, if you want to acquire the mind of a conqueror, we have a free book down here. It's going to tell you how top performers like Elon Musk, David Goggins, and Joe Rogan operate. And why most people, despite all their hard effort and all this energy they put in to improve their life, why they remain stuck in a mediocre life. And it's going to tell you how to get from there, stuck, to high performer so that you can stick to your word, and then you can eat like a conqueror and do the paleo diet and follow the rest of our protocol. If you're an ambitious man who's ready to optimize yourself, to optimize your life and start accomplishing your goals, conquering your goals day in and day out. So go ahead, you can download that PDF for free. And if you haven't already, it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to us. It really helps us in growing the channel so that we can reach more people. So if you can do that, go ahead, appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.